I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
And this is Northwest Brew Talk. Each and every week, we promote the Washington brewing industry by talking to those people involved in drinking Washington beer. With over 300 breweries, we try to highlight as many as possible every episode. If you're new to the show, we suggest you check out our back catalog with some great interviews and lots of Washington beer. On today's show, episode number 48, we have an interview with Doomsday Brewing, our brew news and views, and local music from Jean Serene. So, how was the holidays for you, Michelle?
Holidays were wonderful. It was nice to have a little break, but excited to get back into the recording and talking to breweries.
Yeah, we had some good time. We did a bunch of interviews during the break, and we're 2 away from episode 50, which is also going to be our 1-year anniversary.
Yes, very exciting. I'm really excited to bring that episode to everybody.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. It's we're going to have a bunch of clips from a bunch of different breweries, and we've got some great interviews upcoming. We've got Matt from Fremont. We've got Mike Hal from Hal's Ales, and a bunch of other ones. So it's going to be a good beginning of the year.
Yep, exciting stuff happening. So if you have any comments or questions, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at nwbrewtalk and on Facebook at facebook.com/nwbrewtalk. If you like the show and want to support us, why not become a patron? With a donation, we offer everything from guest hosting the show to a copy of our upcoming book, Washington Beer. Head over to nwbrewtalk.podbean.com for more details. To start the show, let's open our first beer.
All right. We've got some new beers for you to start the year. We're going to start with Silver City Brewery's Panther Lake Porter.
This has 6% ABV, 35 IBUs, and an untapped rating of 3.69, a dark and robust ale. Panther Lake Porter is made with 7 different specialty malts to create layers of roasted, chocolatey goodness with rich caramel undertones. This malt sweetness is balanced with lightly herbal Northwest Liberty hops.
Nice.
I'm very excited to try this. Just reading the description gets me excited.
7 malts. That's very complex.
Yeah. Silver City opened in 96. It's located in Bremerton. Their tap room's open 7 days a week, but only for 21 and over.
This is a porter. It's pretty good.
Ooh. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
How many IBUs? It was pretty low, wasn't it? 35 or something?
35, yep.
Yeah, it's not bitter at all.
No, not at all.
And we
nice
found...
big head on it.
Yeah, we found a lot of times it's very dark, too. I don't think you can see through it at all. We found a lot of times that the next day, some of these bottles, the flavors come out even more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting. All kinds of flavors there you can taste.
You're supposed to drink without pause, according to the bottle.
What does that mean? Just keep drinking until it's over? So this is a bomber, so I guess you're just supposed to chug it, huh?
Chug it. I don't think I could enjoy it as much if I just chugged it. I want to stop and enjoy it.
No, it has a nice head on it too, and it's pretty good though. You like it?
Yes, I do. I love it.
Awesome. All right, first beer of the year. Now on to our brew news and views.
Topping this week's news, since our last show of 2015, there have been a few new breweries that have opened and tales to tell. Bronnier Brewing in Notches opened this week. The 10 Barrel Brewery is located behind their pizza joint. We got a glimpse when we were out there last summer, but glad to see they've opened. Cloudburst Brewing in Seattle opens on January 7th, run by former Elysian brewer Steve Luke. This one may be good. Lowercase Brewing is celebrating their 2nd anniversary on Saturday, January 16th. There are limited number of tickets available. Also, the brewery has purchased a new 15-barrel brew house that's expected to be running by the summer. Check out our interview with Chris on episode 28. Congratulations to them. A new beer garden called Ounces will be opening in West Seattle this summer. Their concept, which they are currently seeking investors for, is to have 1 or 2 taps per local brewery where you can get a flight or 2-ounce sample. If you like it, you can get a pint, growler, or even a keg. They expect to have at least 50% of the property as an outdoor beer garden, open all year, all weather.
Definitely an interesting concept.
Yeah, very cool.
On Friday, January 29th, Foggy Noggin in Bothell will be hosting a tasting of 8 different English bitter, best bitter, special bitter, and extra special bitter. This will be a special journey learning about these styles and tasting the subtle differences that they all have. Some of the favorites that they have will be on hand: Bit of Beaver, Little Lucy, Morning Wood, and Swoop. And new beers will be making appearances. There is only 20 spots available. It's $25 a person and 21 and over. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, real estate developer from California has bought the former Olympia Beer Brewery building in Tumwater for $4 million from Capital Salvage. Closed since Miller last brewed beer there in 2003, the facility includes 300 brewery tanks, 2 warehouses, bottle house, the M cellar, 2 undeveloped lots, and other outbuildings. Unfortunately, according to Kane 5, unless the cost to update the buildings is right, they might just demolish all of them.
Flatstick Pub in Kirkland is opening a new location in Seattle's Pioneer Square. The underground space will hold 9 holes of mini golf, 34 beer taps, and a capacity of 350 to 400 people. The beer will be all Washington, no corporate, which means no Elysian or Red Hook. Sounds like a very cool place. Strange Brew Fest 12 will take place January 29th and 30th in Port Townsend. This is the festival where many brewers let their hair down and create some interesting concoctions. There will be 35 breweries and over 70 different beers to sample. 70 different beers. Tickets are $30 for both days, so book your room now so you can enjoy the fun. SmartAsset.com came out with a new survey of best cities for beer drinkers, and it seems that some of the best cities have the gloomiest winters. The number 1 city, based on number of breweries per 100,000 people, bars per 100,000 people, cost of a domestic beer pint, and average Yelp score, was Portland, Maine, followed by Asheville, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Billings, Montana, Denver, and at 6 was Seattle, number 6. Our old home of Buffalo makes the cut at 23.
Interesting the way the people are putting these surveys together using all kinds of different criteria.
Yeah, it is interesting. It makes sense.
Yeah, gives different ways to rate the cities.
Sounds like a lot of work, though.
Throwing in beer there. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Elliott Bay Brewing has their annual Ode to Darkness Imperial Start vertical tasting event on Saturday, January 23rd in the new back bar in Lake City. The popular Belgian Fest is back on January 30th at Seattle Center Fisher Pavilion. 90-plus Belgian-style beers crafted by Washington breweries will be available. Featured beer styles include triples, doubles, saisons, wits, abbeys, and lambics. In keeping with this unique style, all of the beers are brewed with Belgian yeast. Tickets for the 21 and over event are $35. Sunday, January 31st, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the annual Pike Choco Fest. This adults-only event is a romantic food and drink lover's delight. Over 65 of the area's premier breweries, wineries, distilleries, restaurants, cheesemakers, bakers, and chocolatiers will fill the Pike Brewing Company and entice you with delicious bites and tastes. Sample rare cask beers, many featuring chocolate from the Puget Sound's top brewers. Best of all, Pike Choco Fest benefits Puget Soundkeeper, who's protecting and preserving the waters of Puget Sound. And that's it for the brew news and views this week.
Welcome back to Northwest Brew Talk. If you want to submit news to Northwest Brew Talk, send us an email to nwbrewtalk@gmail.com. Or if you've not yet subscribed to our podcast, why not do it now? It's free, available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including iTunes, Podbean, and Stitcher. If you like us, a review or rating would be really appreciated. But most importantly, make sure you tell your friends about Northwest Brew Talk.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick review here. There's a book called Scene of the Climb. It's the first in a new series by Kate Dyer Seeley. It's a Pacific Northwest mystery. Now, I love mysteries, and got a copy of this book. And it has a slight beer relationship to it. Basically, the story is about Meg, who bluffs her way into getting a writing job for Northwest Extreme magazine. And a murder happens along the way, and basically the whole book is about, her being right in the middle of it and, trying to help solve the murder along with the police. And how it has the beer part of it is it's down in Oregon, and they like to drink beer, and they like to go to Deschutes Brewery. And that's kind of how it ties in. Now, apparently the other couple books also have, other couple books in the series so far, also have some beer tie-ins. I'm guessing it's similar to that. But if you're looking for a book that has a lot of outdoors, mountain climbing and hiking and stuff like that in the Northwest here, and you like mysteries, this is actually a really good story. I enjoyed it. It's a few hundred pages, almost 300 pages. And it was a good read. So if you're looking for something, that's Scene of a Climb by Kate Dyer Seeley. All right. Now, we're going to talk to Eric and Jake from Doomsday Brewing in Vancouver. All right. We're here with Eric and Jake from Doomsday Brewing in Washougal. How are you today?
Good. Doing great.
Awesome. So, why don't we start out with the name? You guys got a great name. Where did that come from?
So we came up with the idea in 2012, about September, October that year. The Mayan calendar was supposed to happen. We were all supposed to die. We didn't, of course. But it's always a doomsday that's going to happen. There's always something around the corner that's going to kill us all. So we just stuck with that theme.
Right.
Right now, World War III with the Russians and all that with the plane, and then before it was Ebola, and then there's the Fukushima, the radiation. There's all kinds of doomsday stuff always going on. We always somehow manage to live. So
right.
Good thing to drink a beer and make it have a chat over, I guess, is the idea.
Right. So do you ever play off any of these catastrophic supposed events that are going to kill us all?
Yeah, for beer name.
You do? Okay.
We might be rocking a World War III Russian Imperial Stout here pretty soon.
All right. That's good.
Our flagship is a nuclear IPA.
Right. Nice. So how did you guys get, how long have you known each other?
Probably fifth grade, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
He invited me over to his Halloween party, and then we started brewing in high school.
Okay.
And it's like 20 years almost. Yeah, almost 20 years. Wow. And then, we homebrewed for about 10 years or so. The last 3 years, it's gotten a little bit more serious. We decided we wanted to try the commercial side of it and see what we could do. And started in my garage on a little 3-barrel system. We basically built off of parts off the internet, Craigslist, people we knew. Built it ourselves, saved up a little money, self-distributing kegs, just right there in the garage, and then saved up a little bit of money, quit our full-time jobs, and now we're doing it full-time here in Washougal on a 7-barrel, looking at a 15 here shortly.
Really? So what year did you open?
2014. Right? Yeah, 2014. February of 2014. And that was, in the garage. That's when we started just self-distributing. We didn't have a tap room or anything really at the garage. We just brought the kegs to other accounts.
Right.
So we opened in June at the Washougal location the same year.
Right.
A couple months later.
So, and business is going that great that you're already looking to pretty much double your production capacity?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be, we're on a 7-barrel now with 4 7-barrel fermenters. And then with the expansion coming, it will be a 15-barrel brew house with 4 30-barrel fermenters. So it will, I guess, quadruple our production.
Yeah.
That number.
Yeah. So,
which is good. We're looking at expanding our distribution, and we're pretty much maxed out right now with what we're on. So it's a good thing.
So how far north and east do you go with your distribution?
We do the western side of Idaho and all of eastern Washington, California, the whole state of California, and then obviously Clark County and around here. And we move a lot through our tap room.
Really?
With the new system, we're looking at opening up Seattle and Portland. Those are 2 big markets that we just haven't pursued because we can't supply them right now with what we're working with.
Right.
So once the upgrade gets in, the more capacity, we're going to kind of pursue those markets a little bit further.
So when you started getting serious about home brewing, what kind of beers were you brewing?
A lot of them were, there were a lot of ones we didn't repeat because we were kind of in an experimental stage.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these recipes that are flagships now, like the Nuclear IPA, the Redemption Red, and the Ender Vanilla Porter, those are all basically originated from our home brews. The Redemption Red is probably our oldest recipe. We won whatever the highest color ribbon is, blue ribbon at the Clark County Fair homebrew competition, and that recipe has been the same since then. It's just basically scaled up, but no cutting of ingredients or hops or malts or anything like that. It's just basically scaled up for the bigger system. We've kept that the same. The Nuclear has gone through a couple minor changes, basically hop substitution, stuff like that, for the better. And then the Vanilla Porter, we've always used like real Madagascar vanilla beans as opposed to like the extract.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So yeah, it's all basically from our homebrew recipes. Plus we have new ones we're always making.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps it interesting for us if we're not brewing our 4 flagships year-round all the time.
Robot mode.
Yeah, turn into robots if you do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always making the recipes.
So, talked to some or read about some brewers that guys get into brewing because they really love it and end up running a business and they're not brewing anymore. So, what are you guys going to do to try and keep that balance? Or do you want to become, business owners and let somebody else do the brewing?
No, we'll always do the brewing. We've talked about it a lot. 90% of running the business is paperwork and dealing with distributors and hitting up on accounts and all that, which is fine. But the 10% where we really have fun and enjoy is when we're actually in here brewing beer. I'd rather brew the robot mode beer than doing all the paperwork and stuff. So
brewing is fun. I never want to stop brewing.
Yeah, we'll never. That's why we started this. Not for the money. We want to actually be brewing beer and making a living doing that. So that we're not really in the market for looking for brewers.
Okay.
Maybe wash kegs in the future, but brewing the beer.
Okay, well that's good that you guys have really discussed that on how you want to grow into the future.
Yeah, and there hasn't really been any question. We're the ones that are going to be brewing it. So
okay, that's cool.
It keeps it fun. It's a sense of pride, I guess.
Right. So when somebody's coming in your tap room and they say, hey, normally I'm drinking one of the mega brews, what do you point them to?
Well, it depends on I guess their level of craft beer education. If there's somebody coming in from, drinking a Coors Light all their life or something like that, we'll probably steer them towards the Golden, or we have a key lime Kolsch coming out pretty soon. And we have a rye pale ale that's pretty light too.
Okay.
If they're more palate, which a lot of them are, we have 3 IPAs on our tap list right now. The Nuclear IPA, which is more kind of traditional style, malty with ending bitterness. The Agent Orange IPA, which is more kind of floral and citrusy, kind of the West Coast style hype right now for IPAs. And then we have the double IPA, which is 120 plus IBUs. So that's one a little out of the park, but
yeah,
it's becoming kind of a favorite in the tap room.
Nice.
But it just depends we ask them what they're looking for. If it's first time in, we'll give them a couple samples, kind of talk them through. But yeah, it's just we have 10 taps, so there's always something for everybody on, and we're always rotating around. So there's anybody who comes in usually finds something they like.
All right, awesome. So, what you guys have been homebrewing for a long time, but what was the first craft brew that you guys like fell in love with?
I really like Widmer's Snowplow before the last time they made it. So this was like
Early 2000s?
Yeah. No.
2005, 2006?
Probably 2008 or something like that. Because we had to be 21, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Snowplow they made before this last one was actually my favorite for a while. And then, there's a lot. I've always kind of liked Stone's brews. I've been following theirs. They're kind of an inspiration to us. Just their, the way they brew and the way kind of their reputation is. I like how they kind of work. What do you think? You got anything?
Yeah, I think Jubilee was my first big craft beer crush. I remember my mom bought me a case of it for Christmas, the 24 packs from Costco. And I really fell in love with it.
Fort George makes some pretty good beers too.
Nice.
But
so
yeah, not picky, I guess. Before we opened this, we were kind of checking out a lot of the local guys like Blue Wit and Heathen. They make some really good stuff. And there's other guys popping up too, like Fort Side and Trapdoor.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to go to their places, but 5440 has some good stuff. We're looking to go to Trapdoor probably this week, but the local guys, they're popping up with some really good stuff too. So
yeah,
you'll find some bad ones occasionally out there, but for the most part, the guys know what they're doing. So
everyone's making pretty good beer.
Yeah, everybody's making pretty good.
Yeah, the state is definitely pushing almost 300 now. So there's a lot of breweries and a lot of beers out there. So
it was really cool. We went up to Redmond for the Washington Brewers Fest. There was almost all the breweries were up there, and a lot of the owners and brewers too. So you could really talk to them, and we learned a lot and got to share with some of the newer guys some of our opening experiences and all that. So it's really just kind of a good community to be in, almost like a brotherhood, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
It's cool.
It is, and it is very. For the most part, it seems pretty welcoming, considering everybody's a competitor. They all seem to share and help each other out too.
I've always kind of said that all the brewers are friends, but once it's the distributors that go at each other's throat.
Oh yeah. It could be.
I guess. It's all competition, but like out here in Washougal, when 5440 came up, and then there's a couple other guys planning on opening. I think since we're not really rural, but I would say the more exposure out here, the better for the beer scene in general.
Right.
Tap rooms and all that. I think it's gonna do better for all of us because as more people we can draw out of. Portland and up from Bend and then even Vancouver out this way. It's about 10 miles, but it's definitely growing, and we're seeing a lot more since when we opened. A lot more craft beer drinkers and the crowd in general. So
nice.
It's competition, but in a way, it's still growing. So it's not a bad thing.
No, and. Like you said, you're open less than 2 years and you're already expanding. And I've talked to quite a few breweries that have done the same thing. Within a year, all of a sudden they're doubling capacity, and it just seems like
market.
Yeah, it seems like there's no end at this point.
No, everything looks. Pretty much that. There's tap rooms popping up almost on the monthly. There's a couple new ones going in Vancouver, and more tap handles there are, the more brewers there's going to be, and the more people drinking it, telling their friends. It's just
a win for everybody.
It's a win for everybody except for Budweiser.
Yeah, well, unless they buy some more up.
Yeah,
that's about the only way I think some of those companies are going to become, into that market. They're just going to keep buying some of these breweries up.
Yeah, there's a bunch of talk going around on which way they're going to go, but we'll just kind of see. The big concern now is distribution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talking about buying the hop farms, the distribution networks, and all that. And I mean, it's all just talk at this point, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit back and make good beer and see what happens.
Yeah. Obviously, if they started buying hop farms and stuff, especially if they came in with a lot of money, people would sell. But
Yeah.
there would be some. I think there would be some backlash. You'd probably find some cooperatives starting or something that would try and right that.
Yeah, there'll always be the guy who doesn't sell, or the guy that's just waiting to open up for the craft brewers, or I think. But
yeah, there's always going to be those people, whether they're the brewers that turn down the big money because they just like being an independent brewery, or or the farmer that turns that down too. Same thing.
Yeah.
So, do you like to source your ingredients locally, or do you use a variety of ingredients?
Pretty much everything's local.
Yeah, pretty much get everything locally. We get obviously our hops come from Yakima, as everybody else's do around here. Woodburn? We have one of our contracts come from Woodburn, but all Oregon, Washington hops. Our grain comes from Great Western Malting at the port down here in Vancouver. And then our yeast comes from, some of it from Odell, Oregon, and then some from, most of it comes from Odell, Oregon. We have a couple batches that come from Fermentus. Not sure where that's at.
Okay.
But maybe Midwest. But hops, grain, all of that comes from right around here, locally.
When you first started, and maybe even till now, did you find it was tough to get a hold of some of those hops?
It's been kind of for certain types. We've stocked up on some of the ones we need we have contracts now, but our first year it was kind of tough. There was like the Citra hop, obviously, that one's pretty elusive, Simcoe, and a couple of the aroma forward hops, low alpha. Some of those are hard to find, but as long as you got your contracts in order, which we do now, it's not a problem. But
Definitely was in the beginning.
it was in the beginning.
Right.
I mean, you're not born with the knowledge that you have to contract out a couple years, but for all the new guys out there, it's a learning experience, and it was for us. And I mean, you can always find substitutions, but it just won't be the same as your original recipe. But there are some shortages, but for the most part, they're doing a pretty good job up there supplying everybody. And you can always find spot hops, and there's different places you can look, whether it be like online or from other brewers who have excess in their contracts and all that. So if they ever ran into an issue, or as we did, we just kind of contacted our friends in other breweries, and they would hook us up. So definitely there are some issues if you're buying direct or through a third party with some of the hop shortages. So
right. Did you find it at any point that you had to use substitute hops for some recipes while you were trying to organize all that?
Our main one, not really. There were a couple smaller ones, like one-offs we did, or kind of like seasonals, where it was just minor substitutions. Like one was our citrus wheat we did. I mean, it was basically just a noble hop we substituted. Didn't change the flavor whatsoever, but it was a substitution. But for the most part, we kept on top of it. And like I said, some of them were going through other breweries to see if they had an extra, 5-10 pounds. Some was, getting spot hops and stocking up. Now we have for the ones we don't have contracted, we have a stockpile in our lock-in. Make sure we get through the year in case that contract, doesn't get done on the next year. But there was. I mean, it's interesting kind of how it works.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, if you don't have that knowledge before you go into it, it probably could throw you for a loop.
Yeah. Because you go to your homebrew store and they just got everything there in the cooler ready to go in pound bags, and basically that's how we came from before we started ordering the 44-pound bricks of them. Is we were buying them from usually Bader's in downtown Vancouver. Buy them by the bag, and sometimes even Brewcraft would have them by the bag, and then now we get the bricks on contract. So
right. Now, did either of you have any type of business background before you started the brewery?
No, not really. Not really. No, we just kind of went into it and did it our own way.
A lot of research.
Yeah, a lot of research, a lot of talking, like I said, to the other guys. Like Lou Witt and Heathen helped us out a lot once we opened up, through all the paperwork hoops you had to jump through and all that. So that was good. And as far as the running the business, it's just been, basically our, I guess, YOLOing.
Nice.
I guess I did. Just doing what we think is right, and trying to take care of the customers the best we can, and just doing what we want to do, I guess. And the beer is always, the number one thing. Make sure we always are putting out a good product for people to like. You can't really, if they pour a glass somewhere where we can't talk to them about it, I mean, the beer's gonna talk for itself. Yeah. So, as far as I know, we have a pretty decent reputation around here, and a lot of that is coming from the beer, not from us. So, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's basically how we've been running it. Is just doing how we want to do it, and no real business experience, no real grand scheme or anything like that. It's just beer. Just making beer.
Yeah. So to that, do you brew beer that you like, or do you brew beer that your customers will like?
We have a big variety. I like all of the beer we make. We did do a sour recently. I'm still getting into the sours. I'm kind of new to them. We did a lot of research when we went down to California to visit accounts down there. California's got a huge sour market. Portland does too. They're definitely growing. They got Cascade down there, and a bunch of other breweries are doing sours. Keaton's got a good sour program. We got our first sour that we did on tap right now. It's called Project Mayhem Raspberry Berliner Weiss, and it's just wheat-based 5.5% with lactobacillus and a secondary fermentation. So it's kind of a first run for us. So we're seeing how that goes. Me and Eric are still both kind of getting into the sours.
Yeah.
So we're just experimenting, seeing how people like it. But for the most part, everything else, I think you have to have a nice big variety for the different seasons, the different,
people's taste,
different drinking conditions. So we got pretty much something for everybody. I would say the sours, though, is the most kind of just dipping our feet in, testing the waters on that and seeing what's going on.
How people like it.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty funny how you have to have beers for people's different tastes, when before you would just go and get a Bud or a Coors or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they were always the same.
Yeah.
Back then, it's like, you don't like it, too bad.
Exactly. Now it's a variety, and customers are always looking for something new, too. That's why you got the seasonals and, trying different ones like the sours, too.
Yeah. We try to have 2 or 3 rotators on at all times, one and done, stuff like that. We're on the second, we're brewing our blackout chocolate stout, milk stout with cocoa nibs and cocoa powder in it. That should be pretty good. And then we're doing a key lime Kolsch shortly, and then we're almost out of our fresh hop Rex rye pale ale, and we also have a nutmeg stout on right now. So
nice.
Those are kind of our rotators for now, and the sour. But
yeah, quite a variety.
Quite a variety, yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
Yep, sounds good. Well, Eric and Jake from Doomsday in Washougal, thanks very much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you, Mike.
Thanks for the time. We're going to go back to brewing, I guess.
All right, that's always a good thing, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks to Eric and Jake for joining us today. Really appreciate that. We will be right back after a local music break from Jean Serene.
was Summer's End from Jean Serene. You can check them out at jeanserene.bandcamp.com. If you want to have your music played on Northwest Brew Talk, contact us today. And now, let's try another beer. This time we have Havanuther from Orlison Brewing.
Oh, yes. Let's have another.
Orlison Brewing's motto is Brew No Evil. They are located in Airway Heights and are open Tuesday through Sunday. This Havanuther is 4.1% ABV and 26 IBUs. Untapped rating of 3.34. Havanuther. Yeah. Havanuther is a refreshing take on light pilsners. This clean, clear, and creamy lager is brewed for those who are looking for a delicious and satisfying beer that won't fill you up quickly. Havanuther's light body combined with an impressively sophisticated mouthfeel and just the right amount of flavor means it's the perfect beer for a warm and relaxing summer day flavor.
All right, this is it's a pilsner. It's very, light golden. Looks like one of the domestic beers, but it tastes nothing like a domestic beer.
Oh, wow. No, that does not taste like a domestic beer at all.
No, it's got a nice flavor. It says, have one, have another. And, yes, it's a craft pilsner. So it definitely has better flavor. And since it is so light, 4.1%, you could probably have a couple of these. Yeah, it's got a nice little kind of sweet taste at the end there.
Yeah, that's what I was tasting too, almost fruity.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, that's from Orlison Brewing.
I want you to get me fresh beer. You serious?
Now! This week's fresh beer will be on tap at Schooner Exact, the Northwest Sour Beer. Straight from Schooner Exact, we have their announcement for the release. Our first sour release of 2016 is a wheat-based beer from the Wood Farm. NWSB was brewed in August of 2014 and put in second-use sour barrels to age for 14 months. We've followed this one closely as it was our first attempt at brewing the base beer with Belgian Saison yeast. Breathe in this beer's fruity aromas of papaya, apricot, and citrus. Then look forward to its wonderfully crisp lactic acidity and classic Brett depth in the finish. Get in quick because this very limited release will not last long.
Wow, limited release sour. Some of those sours are interesting. We had one over the weekend too.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the sours I've tried so far, but the one we tried this weekend was actually pretty complex and very interesting. I did like that.
That was from Elliott Bay, which is that'll be another future interview. But that was a good one too. Mm-hmm. All right, and that brings us to the end of this episode of Northwest Brew Talk.
Make sure you tune in next week when we chat with Brother S. Brewing.
This show is produced and edited by me with engineering help from Michelle Rizzo.
If you want to contact us, you can email us at nwbrewtalk@gmail.com or on Twitter at nwbrewtalk.
Until next time, I'm Mike Rizzo.
And I'm Michelle Rizzo.
Hey, hoppy, my friends.